Well, good day guys, welcome back to the Boomerang Biker channel. So this is Nick checking in from BMW Doncaster. I'm quite excited actually today. This is the first time I've been on one of these BMW Doncaster client invitational rides. I'm surprised at how many people are here. It's a fantastic turnout. We arrived pretty early this morning. Probably one of the first people here. Met a guy on the way, Peter. So Peter's just sat behind me there. First time I've met Peter. So I met Peter through a Facebook group which I subscribe to for BMW GS. So great. So now we're just waiting for the off. I've got a couple of cameras working today, so this is a little bit of a cue for my son who's going to splice this together, so I'm going to speak now. Okay, so we're getting ready to push off. There's quite a lot of bikes. I'm going to just filter in here as I can. So it's every man for himself. Wow, that's great. They've done this quite well. They're stopping the traffic as well. Go, mate. Ah, good start. Ah, there's quite a lot of us here actually. That's fantastic. We've got perfect weather for this ride this morning. First off, as we pull away, I'm just going to give a big thanks to BMW Motorrad. They've put on coffee and some fantastic donuts. If you haven't been on a ride like this, first off, as I said, this is my first one. I'm very impressed with the organisation. They've had a briefing on how we're going to mark the corners and you know, who's the tail end Charlie, so that's good. And now we're just trying to group everybody together so we keep everyone in a pack. I've done quite a few of these big group trips in the past, not with BMW, but various bike clubs that I've been in over the years. As always happens, we've lost part of the pack at the traffic lights, so that always happens, but we all know where we're going really, so no doubt we'll regroup. Well, we've got fantastic weather today actually. This it really is good weather. Couldn't have hoped for any better. There's a heat wave forecasted for this weekend, and by Monday in Melbourne we're going to get up to around 40 degrees, which is going to make things a bit unbearable. Sorry, I'll just start again with my teeth in place. If it's the first time you've been to the channel, do me a favour. My son actually helps me with the editing of these, my son Lucas, and he puts a lot of hard work into these, so if you can at least hit that like button, maybe subscribe if you're into this sort of thing, leave some comments, try and keep them nice if you can, and that'll be really encouraging for him. So you might have seen there, I was just concentrating on the turn, but you might have seen that one of the guys dropped off and marked the turn. which is what they asked us to do, which is great. Now I'm in a Jeep club, and we do that in our convoys. So the procedure's called leapfrog. So if the trip leader asks you to mark the corner or mark the turn, you wait there until the rest of the group overtake you, and then you'll be at the back of the convoy apart from the trip leader. Works quite well. There's a couple of different methods. That's leapfrog, as they call it, or there's stop and go, where you mark the corner until the next guy turns up. So for this trip today, we're starting off in Doncaster, and the ultimate destination is Euroa, which is a small country town north of where I live. I live in the Eden Park area, which is on the footsteps of Kinglake. Problem is that we're starting in Doncaster, which is a built-up area, as you can see. So we just try and get all the convoy together, and hopefully we'll have a full pack by the time we get out into the countryside. So I set off from my place this morning quite early, in order to get over to Doncaster for around about 8 o'clock. So I'm quite thankful now that the sun's starting to burn off the cloud there, because I made the mistake of putting my black visor on, and it's very difficult at that time of the morning to see. I normally would carry a clear one with me, but as it happens, I forgot it. You're always going to forget something, no matter how you plan. Alright guys, so I'm going to sign off for a second, or should I say a few minutes, because this is pretty boring riding through here. And we'll pick it up when we get towards the countryside. Okay, so please stick around, stay tuned, and I'll speak to you later. Thanks. Okay guys, hope you're still tuned in. We managed to get out of suburbia, and we're moving towards Warrandyte now, so we've got the pack back together. It's always a little bit tricky negotiating the traffic lights. You always end up getting split up, and you always seem to get those car drivers that take exception to you going out and having a bit of fun, so they always want to split up the convoy. Do you call it a convoy on a bike trip? I'm not sure. What always gets me with trips like this, whether you're in a Jeep club, a four-wheel drive club, a classic car club, or whatever, a bike club, it's when you get a group of anything together, it always gets always attracts attention. So I always like to see the people at the side of the road that wonder what the heck you're doing. Well, I have to say, so far I'm having a great day. It was a bit of an early start, and in true style, I drank a little bit too much last night. You know, I don't get it. I never seem to learn. You think, I'm going on a bike trip tomorrow morning and I have to set up at 7. Don't have that bottle of red, but I'm sorry, it's Friday night, and I don't think anyone would hold that against me. Not that I was drunk when I set off this morning, officer. I got plenty of sleep. I went to bed at 10 o'clock. So I'll just give you a heads up if you're tuning in from overseas. I've got a lot of my old friends from England and a few guys from South Africa that follow the channel. So this weekend, although it's not until Tuesday, so Tuesday's a public holiday nationally for Australia. It's Australia Day, where we celebrate everything Australian. And really it's just an excuse. Oh, nice car. Really it's just an excuse to throw a few snags on the barbie and drink too much. So I'll be giving that a fair old shake of the sauce bottle, as they say in Australia. But because of that, Australia Day lands on Tuesday, January 26th every year. So that's a Tuesday. So then Monday becomes an unofficial public holiday. So if you haven't got any leave left, the Australian thing to do is chuck a sickie, or like me, you book a day's annual leave. So it turns into a 4-day long weekend. Now the problem with that is that every man and his dog heads out with their caravan, their 4-wheel drive or their ski boat or whatever, and you get a lot of accidents on this weekend. So the police are out in force. I don't know if it's double demerits, so for the UK that's points on your license. I don't know if it's double demerits this weekend, but they'll certainly be out there handing out hefty fines. So we've already been warned just to follow the speed limit, take it nice and steady. And why wouldn't you? You know, there's so many people in this group, you don't want to be hooning along. So that should give you a good shot of the convoy of bikes. I don't know if that is the right term, convoy for bikes, but that's what I'm going to say, so apologies for that if it is wrong. And we're just heading into the fantastic little town of Warrandyte. Very popular with tourists, bit of a hippie destination. Got to wear your tie-dyed t-shirt when you come down here. There's the river Yarra runs alongside Warrandyte, or is it the other way around? Very popular with people running, mountain biking, walking their dogs, and quite often there's a market on a Saturday, I believe. I'm not sure what's going on at the moment with COVID, but as you can gather, we're all out of lockdown now, and I think Australia's done really, really well. I'll just give a shout out to my father and my stepmom, who live out in the UK, and they're doing it really tough. So we're thinking about you. I think everybody bagged out the Premier of Victoria, Daniel Andrews, for being so strict, including myself, I have to say, but it's done the trick. You know, we've pretty much eradicated COVID now, and certainly closing down the international borders has been a great thing. So this is Warrandyte, split in half by this roundabout. We're now going to cross over the Yarra River, And this then takes you over. We overcooked that a little bit there. Sorry guys, going quiet while I concentrate. So this road actually takes you up to Kangaroo ground. And if you've seen any of my videos before, I've actually done a trip where we started off from Warrandyte, and this was actually down during the lockdown. We were only allowed, I think it was a 25k radius, so I could just about get here from my place. And I was with one of my friends, Mike, and we had breakfast there in Warrandyte at the cafe, and we rode this through to St Andrews and then looped along the valley floor back to Hurst Bridge. So if you get a chance, and I haven't bored you to death already, click through on the videos on my channel and check that out. Mike is actually on a Suzuki scooter on that trip, a Bergman, and you know, before you turn your nose up at it, he left me for dead. It's quite an agile bike, and Mike's a good rider actually. Nice old Land Rover there, Series 1 I do believe, or 80-inch in old money. Not really bike related, but maybe you don't realise that that's where 110 and 90 comes from. It's actually the length of the vehicle. The first Series 1 Land Rover started off as 80-inch, then they went to Series 2, and then I think there was an 88, then a 90, and then a 110, and they also did a 130. I like Land Rovers. Comes with a heritage, I think. Although I don't drive one now, I have a Jeep. No sniggering. So the bike, two bikes in front of me is a guy that I just met this morning. I put a message out on the BMW GS Facebook page, faceplant, and Peter lives near me and said, yeah, I'll meet you. Typically I turned up a few minutes late. I was actually surprised. I thought it was sort of an empty gesture, but no, he was there. So nice to meet you, Peter. And thanks for coming along. What's great about this bike, about this trip, sorry, is it's a dealer trip and it's open to anyone interested in BMWs. There are lots of different types of bikes on the trip. There's even a few Ducatis. There's a Ducati Diavolo, which I really like. I think they're an awesome bike, although they'd look a bit silly with panniers and camping gear on, I reckon. We've got some sports bikes. We've got a couple of cafe racer type bikes, lots of GS's, 1250s, 1200s. I don't really know my models too well for BMWs. I think RT is another one, so apologies for that, guys. Well, the sun's really starting to come out now. It's just 9:30 and it couldn't be any better. So I'm a little bit conscious today because I've got the Lone Rider MotoBags, or sort of a semi-rigid pannier. I've got those on the bike today. Purchased them a while back and stuck them on there just to see how they look. I don't have anything in them really, apart from a few extra bits and bats. Certainly no camping gear or anything, but I'm just a little bit conscious that they stick out quite a way, so best to keep my distance. And just on that point, wow, sorry, I'll just segue into, if you can see there, we've got a lot of bikes on the trip. That's it's quite impressive when you get so many bikes together. So back to my MotoBags. If you're not really interested, you'll be completely bored now. But I did post up a video review on those last night on my YouTube channel. And if you're looking for some bags and you're in the market for some panniers, maybe go and check that out. I was looking at the aluminium ones, but they're quite expensive. So this is Kangaroo ground on the right hand side. Just over that side we're coming up to the Kangaroo ground store. You'll have seen that on a previous video that I've done. Not the best coffee there, I have to say, but they make good pies. You can't get a pie wrong really, can you? So again, I've done a previous video on this, so I might just go silent for a while, and we'll pick it up a little bit later on in the trip. So again, thanks for tuning in, really appreciate it. If you are watching the video, you could do me a massive favour and just hit that like button just to get the stats up. Thanks very much, and stick around for a little bit more.